will look like a separate branch of government. We don't have that entity formulated right now. You keep saying that, but when I sign papers for attendance or payroll, it says department. Also, when I'm looking at what we need to be doing as on our own, if it does not conflict with the what is here at the city, then we should be going on with our own business, and that's where you come in, Mr. Chair, is to help provide the policies and procedures and the rules and regulations so that we can come up with our own manual. Every entity has a manual or a system on the way they do things, okay? So that's what I think we need to be considering. And in the meantime, I say that you can have all these things put in place, and with Tracy's input, and if you all agree, we can have Mr. Steve working right alongside of her and giving us rules on how we do our infrastructure here at the in the office. We want to look like a different branch of government. I'm also wanting us to look at how the court does their separate. They have their own separate entity. So I want us to look at how we do that. So that's what I was bringing forth today, and I think we got a lot of work to do, Mr. Chair. And I think you brought me some forms that I asked her to bring here, where it says, yeah, it says, so we need our own. We need everything that pertains to us that we can deal with.
Well, I like to jump in there, and I'm in agreement. What I like for either Brandon King or Wheeler is maybe you can look at the policy procedures for the mayor's office, and you can look at the court, and when we meet next month, we can work on it as a collective body, come up with what we think is best for the office.
Yeah.
My thing is inclusion of everybody, so I'm in favor of that. But I also want to ask about Steve, and I don't know if should I ask this because when we get into nuts and bolts, some of it gonna have to be closed session on when it comes to hiring and stuff. That there's something I want to ask you, but I don't want to make you uncomfortable about it in terms of why you're not practicing that kind of thing. So, how do you feel? Do you feel like you want to answer that publicly, or what? How do you feel?
It's all public record, so it's
okay. Why don't you share with us why you're not?
Well, before he do that, can I pass this around?
What is this?
Mr. Riley gave us an introduction appointment for employees. I had asked for this, and I received this. I'm working, fellas.
Okay, this is good. And while you look at that, can I get you to agree to check what kind of policy procedures the mayor has? And Brother Brandon King, can I get you to check with the court and see? Yes, and then we'll bring, our next meeting will be the Tuesday in August. So we're just gonna and we'll have a working session. And we'll come up with policy procedures, and then I'll check with some human resources people that I know with the county and see what kind of policy procedures they have. I'm surprised. I didn't know we didn't have any policy procedures in our office.
I talked to Ms. Walcott, who was former president, and she said there was policies and procedures in 205 or something. So I was here, and then we went down and we had the retreat. So she had some information from the retreat that she was going to give me out. I'm reaching out for everything that I can. But
can we count on you to bring that at our meeting in August?
Okay. This is what I'm telling you, because I wanted to make sure that everybody got everything, so, but I knew you was gonna have this meeting, so there wasn't no sense in me calling you individually on the phone when I could be here talking to everybody all at the same time, and we can be on the same agreement. And I had asked Tracy to inquire as to the Case Western Reserve, some of the graduates for the political science and graduates that could come and help us in our, you know, like you were helping get the Democratic thing done.
Well, hold it 1 second, and then I yield to you, Brother Wheeler. I want Mr. Steve Helcott.
Yes.
Can you kind of share with us why you're not practicing law right now?
Yes. I had practiced law for 28 years.
Okay.
Towards the end of that period of time, I probably had been suffering from a long time, but I had a severe bout with depression. As a result of that, I had not taken care of certain client things in a timely manner, and as a result, the Supreme Court took away my license. So I cannot practice law in the state of Ohio. As Counselor Thomas said, I can act as a paralegal. I obviously have had extensive experience in working with the law. Part of what I've also done, and the reason why this seemed to be my immediate project when I talked with Counselor Thomas seemed to be a good fit, was that part of what I've done in the past is to set up policies and procedures and set up manuals and how to do things and the proper function. Because one of the things that I think is very important for counsel here is to establish those things on an ongoing basis so that it'll be there for the next folks that come in and continue to be on there, and that hopefully that can minimize some of the friction that's gone on between the mayor and council here over the years, so that each is more aware of what the other one's role is and how they fit together, so that you can operate hopefully on a more conciliatory basis and not such an adversarial basis, which has happened in the past. I'm certainly not saying that this group has done that, but I'm aware that that's been an ongoing problem in the city. So that was part of what I've done. I've always gone in with, especially with the consulting basis, and helped the organizations or companies basically that were up and running, but just weren't running as efficiently as they should, to find out, okay, how can we streamline this? How can we make this work? Put together forms, put together policies, put together procedures so that things operate the way they should instead of the way they have been operating, which isn't necessarily the most effective way to operate. So at this point, as I indicated, I am not authorized to practice, but I can, I believe, be of assistance to you, and certainly have had plenty, as I said, 28 years of experience in working with the law, working with it at all levels. When I was in college, I worked in the state of Massachusetts legislature and was one of the ones that used to draft the legislation for the representatives there, for the state representatives there. So I've even worked at that level. I've worked, as I said, at the not-for-profit level, working with Nicole Howell on broken actions. So I've had an active role here in East Cleveland in particular over the years, and I certainly would look forward to working on this project with you all.
And would you not reiterate, but iterate how you also work on grants? You do grants.
I've also, over the years, worked very closely with Nicole on writing up the grants. As you indicated, Mr. Barton, we recently received a $500,000 grant, and so I do a lot of the writing. I do a lot of the technical portion of it, and I let Nicole work on what we jokingly call the touchy-feely portion, because she's the emotional aspect of it, so she's always good at being able to do that. Mine tends to be a little drier than hers, and so we work on that together. But I'm used to looking at grants, at grant applications. I'm used to looking at what the requirements are and being able to put things together. The other thing I've done over the years too, that I've been trying to work with Nicole on, is being able to put together I'm sure this is the sort of thing Tracy's done as well, but put together more or less a forms library so that when a grant comes out, you're not reinventing the wheel each time. You're not writing a whole new grant each time. I mean, there are pages and pages and pages, and many of the grants ask for exactly the same information. So you can go ahead, once you have that library established, and be able to plug it, plug in paragraph A, plug in paragraph C, and so forth, and not have to rewrite the entire grant. And that way, you can certainly get your grants out much faster and much more efficiently as well.
And I just want to say one more thing. The reason I want to say this is because we need, if we need a collaboration between the clerk and someone that can interpret the legal language and not say, okay, this is what I think it means, or I go ahead and get something, and then once they give us the interpretation, then we can say, okay, we got this here, what do you think about it, Mr. Law Director? Because that last niche is your law director, even though, and I remember a long time ago, he was an asset to us. I think that he came out in the same predicament that Steve did. Mr. Mark McLean was under, had this lisinopril high blood pressure medicine, which threw him into a tailspin, and he
I
lost
take that
his
right
life.
now to deal with Brandon and Wheeler.
Well, thank God I know you all be messed up. We all be messed up. But I just I wanted you all to get the round figure, because when I heard him and I was at the bank and I was listening to what the bank was trying to do to the shelter, which we need so badly, I said, dang, he's really what he, and I was saying, he can't tell me some more about you and this and that and the other. So I just wanted you guys to hear the whole ball of wax so that we could, and barring no hold back on what is happening, because depression is a bad situation out here, and it's one of the top problems in the medical field, depression is. So I just wanted you all to hear it, and I thought you would.
Let me ask you this.